gather round, gather round. Right, there is some good news and there is some bad news.
Oh, I'm really not in the mood.
They say no news is good news.
So what?
So that means you've got no news and bad news.
Oh, I suppose it does, yes.
Ah, my dear, but in the art world they also say even bad news is good publicity. So that leaves us with no news and good publicity.
Well, good publicity is just what we need. I think that calls for a nice lick of paint all round.
Oh, you're just too smart.
Oh.
Hello and welcome to Smart. On today's programme...
Now let me see.
Hi, Josie.
Must have a straight back and be quite tall.
Oh, Josie.
Strong arms. Oh, yes, I like those. And curved legs. Well, whatever your dreams are, there's one sure way to catch them, and that's by using one of these. This is a North American Indian dream catcher. Nowadays, it's the coolest thing to have in your bedroom, and I'll show you how you can make one. First of all, take the inner circle of an embroidery ring, because we actually don't need the clamp bit there, just this nice clean circle, and then you need to wrap around it. Now, the North American Indians, they would use buffalo hide, because for them, the buffalo represented life, because from a buffalo, they would get their food and their clothes. However, we're going to use this stuff. Now, this is sisal, which is basically fat string, thin rope. Now, we need to wrap around like so, push it together nice and tightly, wrap it around, keep it nice and taut like that, and keep wrapping. Now, when you complete that wrapping process, you end up with a circle that looks like that. Tie a knot in it and snip it off at the end. Once you get it to that stage, you're ready to make the actual web. Now, for the Indians, the web would be the bit of the catcher that actually caught the dream. So I'm going to tie a piece of string around like that, pull it nice and tightly across the main body of the circle there, tie a knot in it there like so, make sure it's nice and taut, yep, that's not too loose, pull it across again, nice and tight, don't want too much slack, and tie it, and then go across again. Now you get the idea. Eventually you end up with one that looks like this. Once you get it to that stage, you'll need to prepare it for hanging. Now, what I'm using is a piece of ribbon. I've folded it in half, take the two ends, pop them through one of the gaps like that, then put the two ends through the top loop, and there you have it. It's ready to hang. Now, this is the fun bit, decorating it. Now, the Indians, I noticed, would use beads to represent semi-precious stones, and we're going to use beads in the same way. I've got some. Well, I had some.
There you go, Josie. No problem for my strong arms to bring to you.
Thanks, Mark. Well, as you can see, what I've done with these beads is I've threaded them onto the ribbon and tied a knot to secure them, and then I'm just going to put the end of it through the bottom hoop there, tie it around, there we go. Does that hang well? Yes, it does. Now, the Indians would also use feathers. Now, these feathers are from eagles because that's the highest bird of prey, but we're just going to use regular, ordinary feathers. Ooh.
Oh, Josie, don't worry about that, for my back is straight enough, and I am tall enough to reach down and pick up those feathers for you. Oh, there you go.
Thanks, Jay. Now, I'm just going to take a few of these feathers. Now, you'll notice this is all coordinating with my bedroom, to be honest. There we go. Just going to put them in the centre. Another way you can use the feathers is like so. These ones I've just attached to a piece of ribbon. Again, you can pop it through one of the gaps, tie it around. Be careful with the feathers, though, because they will come off if you're not extra gentle. There we go. Around like that. And there you have it, all ready to go in my bedroom. Here's another one that I've done that will contrast with my bedroom. Look at that, ready to catch those dreams.
and welcome again from Garth Kempsip with more blasting action in Make of the Day. Is this the place to see all the sizzling highlights? Yes, indeed. We're out in the park with the Premier Arts League again, studying the form, with Derby County taking on the Dream Team. Ooh. And Derby makes the first move, taking the centre circle from an embroidery ring and covering it completely with sisal. Then she takes some string and wraps that round to form a web. Next she adds a ribbon to hang it on and more pieces of ribbon for decoration. Then to give it that genuine look, she goes for the feathers, which match the colours of her room. So that sensational result means it's all change at the top of the table. Burridge United and Spate City will have to fight every inch of the way. Stay with us now for more arty action, but for now, let's leave you with a team up in the clouds. Bye. Thanks.
If you've ever dreamt of seeing your work in our gallery, now might be the time.
I know you. You're Hannah Watson's clown. Nice to meet you. Nice chap.
Well done to 12-year-old Stacey from Manchester for this feeding time at the garden. Come on, share.
Ryan's lent me his motorbike for the day, so if you don't mind, I think I'll take it for a spin.
Whoa! Whoa!
And to transform their artwork, a smart sketchbook is on its way to all of our young artists. And our address comes up at the end of the programme.
This is Brighton Beach in the late 20th century. And this is Brighton Beach in the early 19th century. Down, stay, good boy. Now, John Constable painted this particular scene as a political statement. He didn't like the way the new buildings were beginning to spread along the beachfront, and as for the pier, an abomination. And this is the Tate Gallery, and we're here for a very special reason, because it's its birthday. It's 100 years old. So, happy birthday, Tate Gallery.
Happy birthday to you. Now, art galleries are wonderful places to visit, not just to see and be inspired by great paintings, but some galleries encourage you to create masterpieces of your very own. Now, this is the art trolley provided to us by the Tate Gallery, and I think we've got everything we need to create something worthy of these noble surroundings.
That's how John Constable painted a beach scene. Today, TJ, Aleem, Shahida and Annalise are going to do it their way.
OK, Shahida, you're looking quite busy down here. What are you up to?
Well, this is my rock, and I'm using these papers to make my rock.
Now, Annalise, I see you're doing a more literal interpretation of the painting. So what's going on here?
I've done a pier and there's an anchor on the beach.
Now, TJ's been very busy dotting and dashing away to get his picture finished, so I thought I'd give him a little bit of a hand. Using chalks, rather than using the tip of the chalk, I'm going to use the side. So we'll do the sky. Let's hope you don't mind. You don't mind, do you? Crashing in on your work here. Just do huge dashes like this. Noticing that the pictures have got this sort of storm clouds that are developing, so I'm trying to make the sky a little bit darker. I'll put some of those clouds in by using this white. And what's really nice about using this white is it merges the two colours together. OK, Aleem, here's a really crafty way, look, of making waves. I'll show you. Just tear the paper in this sort of nice irregular way like this.
I can get the white bits, the top white bits of the waves.
That's right, yeah. So if you just tear that out, again, do another one across there like that. Now, if you put that down here in the front there, just put that about there. And if you build that layer up over the top, quite enjoying this. See? Getting a nice choppy sea starting to happen there. Right, Shahita, how are you getting on? Yeah? Wonderful, good stuff. Where's your boulders gone? They've disappeared, haven't they? OK, well, I've got a little technique for you. Now, look, if you get a pencil and just rub it down the side of your cutouts, just pick out the edge, and we'll just work out all the areas in shadow under the boulders. OK, and just smudge it round. See, I can suddenly start to sort of spring out at you. OK, Eloise, what I thought I'd do just to enhance your masterpiece is, you see this large area of sky you've got here? I thought it might look a little bit nicer if we have a few clouds. What do you reckon?
Yeah.
Yeah? So just sticking to your tissue paper, tear some nice pieces of white, screw them up, blob of glue, like that, and just stick it down. So look at our fluffy cloud. Right, so tell you what, here's the glue. You finish it off, right?
More sound advice for you now, and our first letter is from Alistair Williams from Stoke-on-Trent. He writes, how do you draw cartoon animals? Well, that's the problem. Mark, have you a solution?
Yes, I do, and a very simple one at that. Now, take this face, for instance. Now, the nose is a circle and the muzzle is a W, but this face can be used for a whole variety of different types of animal. For instance, this particular one could become a rather ferocious lion, or how about a sea lion, or maybe a walrus. Now take over here. Now this put some big ears on him, and this particular character becomes a cute little bunny rabbit. Put some droopy ears on this little chappie, and a nice lapping tongue, and it becomes a cuddly little dog. And there's your answer.
Lee Sweeney's written in from the Isle of Man, and he asks, how do you draw tables? Well, I presume you mean chairs and tables, not your times tables or your Football League tables. Now, here is a very basic parallelogram. I'm going to make that into a cuboid by drawing down on those sides. Now, this leg is going to disappear behind the top of the table. Now, of course, no table will be properly standing up without a few supports. And so that would probably go in there. Now, of course, this is a wooden table, so we're going to colour in the top. And that's your answer.
Joining us on the smartphone now is Elizabeth Davis from South Wales. Hello, Elizabeth.
Hi, Josie.
What's your problem?
I can't draw flowers.
Oh, but I know a man who can. Jay.
Right, because you're from Wales, I'm going to draw your national flower, which of course is the daffodil. Now, starting off with a nice stem and a few leaves there, we're going to move straight on to the trumpet, which of course looks a little bit like that. Now, I'm drawing this really nice and quickly and fluid-like to get those really nice curved petal feel there. As it goes round, we can put a few little middle bits in. And there's your daffodil.
That was really good, thank you.
Thank you for your question. Bye-bye.
Bye.
And remember, if you have an art problem that you'd like to put to our smart advisors, then look out for our address at the end of the programme.
Josie, did you like the way I kept my back nice and straight?
Yes, and I stood up with really curved legs, didn't I?
I don't know what's going on today, you two.
This is ART News, the news that spells art, with Darcy Joby.
Hello. Sorting offices all over the country have reported a massive increase in mail since the launch of the Smart Portrait competition. If you still haven't submitted your entry, here's a summary of the rules. All entries need to be on A3 size paper. The portrait can be of yourself, a friend, or somebody famous. The winning entries will be on public display in Manchester City Art Gallery. The closing date, Wednesday, November the 19th. And that was the ART News for today. I have been Darcy Joby. Goodbye.
Wow, it's amazing. Oi, what are you doing? Oi! You're right. What are you doing?
You okay? Fine.
Have you ever wanted to go on safari? Well, here's a way of doing it without leaving your own bedroom. All you need to do is start off with a picture of an animal. And for this, I've chosen a penguin. Now, once you've got your picture, what you need to do is translate it into a series of shapes. Then you need to transfer that onto a bit of card. See, there's all the individual shapes. And then cut it out. Now, that's the hard bit over with. Now begins the really fun bit. Once you've got all your parts, you can start assembling the body. Let's do this now. Ooh. Now, this is already looking a bit like our penguin, and this is called a relief. It's slightly 3D, a bit like the head on a coin. Now, what we want to do is make it much more 3D than that, and the best way of showing it is on this beak. Now, with a bit of tape, what I'm going to do is just attach it to the front there, and bring it over to the head, hold it at an angle, and attach it quite firmly down. Now, this will give it a bit of spring. It already makes it look 3D. And doing the rest of the body in the same way is really simple. So bring the feet over, stick a bit of tape on the back, and hold the body up into position, and firmly attach the tape at the back. Now, for the flippers, again, it is so simple. A bit of tape on the back, bring it over to the body, hold it there at an angle again, and attach it like that. See? A flipper. And the other flipper, we want to have kind of hanging out at an angle, slightly behind it. So the best way of doing that is simply flipping it all the way over, turn it over, attach it there, another bit of tape there to make it really secure. And look, see, it's holding out. Now, if this flips around too much, get a bit of this blue tacky type stuff and put it right in the corner to secure it at a nice angle. Now, for the tail, this is so simple. You just put a bit of tape on the back, and this is also going to act as a bit of a support for the body. And if it doesn't support your animal perfectly, you can always use a little extra support at the back. And for the head, what you can do is just put a bit of tape running off the neck. Now, penguins always have a bit of a no neck at all, really. So what we're going to be doing for that is slunching him right down. Now, to give it a bit of an angle, what I'm going to do is hold it really tight here and flare it out a bit there. Bring over a bit of tape and secure it on that side like that. It should hang it at a right sort of angle. Now, if you colour your penguin with a little bit of paint, look at that. He looks almost 3D-like, and it's just made out of a 2D piece of paper. Now, of course, these are perfect for your bedroom. If you got really ambitious, take a look at these. Now, these are made in exactly the same way, but out of wood.
What? In the smart Amazonia rainforest, we find...
Mark!
What?
What are you doing?
David Attenborough. You know, I just thought a little joke. Yes?
No, thank you. Now, mind the swamp as you leave.
Mind the swamp. Now who's telling jokes? Very funny.
Dreaming of becoming a famous artist? Then these fabulous prizes could help you out. They could all be yours if you know the answer to this question. At which London gallery was Mark celebrating a birthday earlier? Was it A, the National Gallery, B, the Portrait Gallery, or C, the Tate Gallery? If you think you know, then call us now on 0891 339944. Remember to get permission from whoever pays the phone bill.
Well, that's all for today's programme.
Oh, but we'll have more art in the dry for you next time.
Josie, you still dreaming about me?
Am I what?
Or dreaming about me, perhaps?
Dreaming about you two. The only thing I've been dreaming about is this. This is my brand new chair. Bye.
Bye. Tall back.
Strong arms. Pathetic.
Next time you'll need cardboard, 2 paper fasteners, a hole punch, sticky tape and grey paint. And for a fact sheet, send a stamped addressed envelope to Smart, BBC TV, PO Box 5053, London W12 6AW.
I'm straightening out a coat hanger here with a pair of pliers. Always beware of the ends though, they're a little sharp. And over the top, I'm going to put a siphon tube. Basically, it's a long, clear plastic tube you can get from a hardware store. Very cheap. And once it's done that, if you loop it round twice, and at the ends there, put a little bit of tape over it to secure it. And what we've made here is a bubble wand. In here, I have a bit of washing up liquid with some water, half and half mix. And if you dip this in, what you should get is some giant bubbles. Give it a go. Wow, look at that. It's a bubble wand. Go on, give it a go.
Ooh, I like blowing bubbles.
Yes, you are full of hot air.